Dear students, welcome back to 8051 microcontroller programming. In previous two videos, I have discussed basics required for writing assembly language programs. I have discussed architecture, addressing modes, pin details, then how to study the instruction set. Before I start the next video, so I hope all of you will be ready with the instruction set of 8051 along with the addressing modes. In this video, I am going to discuss the steps in assembly language programming. What is an assembly language? An assembly language is a low-level programming language specially designed for a specific type of a processor or a controller. Means assembly level language will be there even for a microprocessor and or even for a microcontroller. It is a specifically designed a low level programming language. A assembly language program can be converted to a machine language using a software called assembler. Say, as we know, so this assembler, it is a software or you can also call it as a program which will convert assembly language program to a machine language program. Nothing but it will going to generate a machine codes, because machine will only understand the machine codes. If we write the program in assembly language, we require some intermediator which will take a assembly language as an input and produce a machine codes. Say that intermediator which will convert a assembly language to a machine language is called assembler. Assembly language uses mnemonics to represent low level machine instructions. These machine instructions are also called as opcodes, like move, add, sub, subtract. So such codes are called as mnemonics. A program written in assembly language consists of series of mnemonic, processor instructions, directives and data. Say, you know what are directives. Say, directives, these are the statements which will give the directions to the assembler. Say where to locate the codes, okay. Say when to start the assembling, where to stop the assembling. All such directions will be given by this statement. The statements which will give the directions to the assembler is such statements are called assembler directives. And we can use comments in a program to understand the source code easily by others who read the program. If I am going to write a program and somebody is going to refer for what a specific purpose I have written some part of a code, or say a whole program, say can be explained in using a comments. Okay, and even you know that there are two types of comments, say which can be used here. Okay, say more about that we are going to discuss whenever we start assembly language programming, means whenever we start writing assembly language programs. Okay, so these are the steps in assembly language programming. So 4 important steps are there. The first step is to edit the program. So we will make use of a program called editor. So we will make use of editor program and we will edit the file. Say normally the output of the editor program will be file name .asm, means it will contain any file name will be there, but .asm is the extension. Okay, and some editor will give the extension as .src, and that file will be given to a assembler program as an input, and this assembler program is going to produce 2 important files. One file is called will be having an extension .lst, and another file will be having an extension .obj, and say such .obj files will be given to an input to a linker program which will going to produce a file called file with the extension .abs, which we call it as a absolute file. Okay, so the file with a .obj extension is called as a object file. The file with a .lst extension is called as a list file, and say the input, the absolute file will be given to a OH program which is called as object to hex converter program, and it will going to produce the hex file. This hex file we are going to feed to any microcontroller device. So these steps we are going to discuss in detail. The first one is editing. So the first step is to edit the program using one of the many editors available. Okay, so what is an editor? An editor is a program which allows us to create a file containing the assembly language instructions. Means editor is responsible for creating a file, and that file will contain assembly language instructions. The editor or a word processor should produce an ASCII file. Remember one thing, dear students, whatever the editor we use, it should be able to produce ASCII file, means the file containing the ASCII codes. The extension of source file that can be either .asm or .src depending on the assembler. Some assemblers will make use of .asm and some will make use of .src. Okay, so some of the examples of editors are notepads, which you are very much familiar with Windows, and gedit, gedit and vim. These are the editors available on Linux operating system. So we can use any of the editors, but one thing is those editors should be able to produce the ASCII file. The second step is assembling. Second step is to convert the assembly language program to machine code, and the process is called assembling. Here the source file created in step 1 should be given as input to the assembler. So as I have shown here in this step, so whatever the source file produced by the editor should be given as an input to the assembler program. Okay, so and assembler will produce an object file and say a list file. The object file will have extension obj and list file will have extension lst, and this object file is an intermediate file that contains essential machine code and linker information. Means say it is not a complete machine code. That object file will contains essential machine codes which are required to generate a final machine codes, and even it will going to contain some linker information, say which it will going to link to some other object files. Like say if we have used some built-in functions, let us consider, say it will going to link to a object file of that built-in functions. Okay, and the lst file is optional, and this file is useful to the programmer, say for the purpose of checking syntax error. This file contains all the opcodes, addresses, and even the errors that the assembler detects. The list file can be accessed by an editor such as Notepad or gedit. And important thing is the programmer uses this list file to find the syntax error. Normally the output of the list file will be displayed on a simulator. So if it's not displayed, we can open a list file using a Notepad or say gedit, and we can see what are the syntax error those are there in a assembly language program file. Okay, and the third step is linking. So linking is the third step in assembling. The linker program takes one or more object files and produces an absolute object file with a .abs extension. The absolute file contains the machine code. So it contains machine code, it contains the data on which that code will work, and even it contains the memory locations along with some debugging information. Okay, the file is called absolute because the memory locations and memory locations of data and code are not relocatable. Whatever the memory locations will be given there, so those memory locations cannot be relocatable. Such absolute file can be directly used by simulators to test programs. Okay, so the simulators such as Keil and other softwares will going to make use of this absolute file, and where say this absolute file can be directly executed by such simulators. Important thing is this absolute file will contain locations, fixed locations, which cannot be changed. Means that file cannot be relocatable. Okay, so and the file cannot be uploaded onto a machine, 8051 machine. So to convert this absolute file to a machine code, means a hex code, we need a program called object to hex code converter. The absolute file is fed to a program called object to hex converter, which creates a file with .hex extension. This hex file contains final machine codes, which can be loaded onto end machine for execution. Normally, say some Xloader programs or softwares such as FlashMagick, USB ISP Programmer, and there are so many like Prog ISP. So such programs can be used to load the X file onto a target machine. Okay, these are 4 different steps which are which will be there in a assembly level programming. First one is editing using editor program. Second one is assembling. When we start assembling, so the assembling will contain say assembler program, linker program, and say object to hex converter program. If at all we are using a simulator, we don't use this OH program. Say the linker program itself will produce an absolute file, and that file can be directly executed in on a simulator. Once if at all we want to upload the machine codes onto a target machine, then we require this OH program, which will convert a absolute file to a machine code containing means machine codes which will be in terms of hex codes, right? So these are the steps that will be followed in a say assembly level programming. So with this we'll stop today. In the next session I am going to discuss installation and usage of 8051 microcontroller IDEs. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environments. Now to execute assembly language programs, we require some IDEs. So basically I am going to introduce two types of IDEs. One is Keil and another one is MCU 8051 IDE. Basically Keil will be used with Windows, and MCU 8051 IDE is the best IDE which is open source, can be used with Windows or Linux operating system. So in next class I am going to discuss installation and how to use these IDEs for assembly language programming. With this I'll stop here. We'll continue in next class. Thank you for watching.